What if I told you that a single penny from the 1970s could be worth thousands of dollars, and it might still be hiding in a jar, a drawer, or even your pocket right now? Today we are diving into one of the most misunderstood, overlooked, yet surprisingly collectible modern U.S. coins ever made. A coin struck during economic uncertainty, rising inflation, and dramatic changes in American minting history. Get ready, because the 1973 Lincoln penny is far more fascinating and potentially far more valuable than its 1-cent face value suggests. 1973 Lincoln penny. The 1973 Lincoln penny was struck at the San Francisco Mint during a period of transition in United States coin production. By 1973, America had already moved away from silver in circulating coinage, and copper prices were beginning to rise sharply. The Lincoln cent at this time was still composed primarily of copper, specifically 95% copper and 5% zinc, with a weight of 3.11 grams. That composition would dramatically change less than a decade later in 1982, when copper was largely replaced with zinc. So the 1973 Lincoln cent represents one of the final full copper era issues before economic pressures forced a major metallic shift. The obverse of the coin features the iconic portrait of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. Brenner's initials, VB, appear at the base of Lincoln's shoulder, though subtly integrated after early controversy in 1909 regarding their prominence. The design had by 1973 become one of the longest-running portrait designs in U.S. coinage history, symbolizing continuity and national heritage. On the reverse, the coin still carried the Lincoln Memorial design introduced in 1959 to celebrate the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. Designed by Frank Gasparo, the Lincoln Memorial reverse was groundbreaking because it depicted a real American monument in detailed architectural form. If you look closely at well-struck examples, you can even see the tiny seated statue of Lincoln inside the memorial, a remarkable feat for such a small coin. The inscriptions include United States of America at the top, 1 cent at the bottom, and E pluribus unum above the memorial. The S mint mark below the date indicates it was struck in San Francisco. But here's where things become interesting. By 1973, the San Francisco Mint had largely transitioned away from producing circulation strike cents. Instead, it focused on proof coinage, specially struck coins intended for collectors, produced using polished dies and planchets to create mirror-like surfaces and frosted design elements. In 1973, the San Francisco Mint produced proof Lincoln cents rather than standard circulation strikes. The total mintage for the 1973 proof Lincoln cent was approximately 2,760,339 coins. While that number may sound high, in the world of proof coinage it represents a moderate mintage, especially compared to modern proof mintages that often exceed 3 million or more. Proof coins differ significantly from circulation strikes. They are struck multiple times under higher pressure to bring out sharper details. The fields, the flat areas of the coin, are deeply mirrored, while the devices, Lincoln's portrait and the memorial, often display a frosted texture. The finest examples exhibit what collectors call deep cameo or ultra cameo contrast, where the frosted portrait sharply contrasts against black mirror fields. Now, while millions were produced, not all survived in perfect condition. Proof coins are delicate. Even the slightest hairline scratch, improper storage, or fingerprint can reduce their grade significantly. This is where condition becomes everything. In the coin grading world, proof coins are graded on a scale from PR60 to PR70. A PR70 coin is considered flawless under 5x magnification, with no visible imperfections. Achieving PR70 is incredibly difficult, especially for coins from the early 1970s, when quality control was good but not flawless. Most 1973 proof cents fall in the PR65 to PR68 range. In these grades, they are relatively affordable, typically selling for between $2 and $10 depending on eye appeal. But once you move into PR69 Deep Cameo territory, values begin to climb. PR69 examples can sell for $20 to $50, sometimes higher depending on certification and market demand. But the real excitement comes with PR70 Deep Cameo examples. These are extraordinarily rare. Only a small fraction of submitted coins achieve a perfect grade from major grading services. When they do, prices can skyrocket. PR70 Deep Cameo 1973 S Lincoln cents have sold for hundreds of dollars, sometimes exceeding $500 at auction, depending on market timing and registry competition among collectors. Registry sets play a significant role in driving up the value of top-graded proof coins. Collectors competing for the highest rank, Lincoln cent, proof sets will pay strong premiums for the finest graded examples. Even a 1-point difference on the grading scale can mean a price jump of several %. Beyond grade rarity, error coins create another layer of excitement. While proof coins are generally well-controlled, mistakes do happen. One of the most sought-after varieties for the 1973 S Lincoln cent involves doubled dies. A doubled die occurs during the die manufacturing process when the hub imprints the design onto the die more than once at slightly different angles. This results in visible doubling on letters, numbers, or design elements. Some 1973 S proof cents exhibit minor doubling, particularly noticeable in inscriptions like Liberty or I in God We Trust. Strong doubled die examples are rare and command premiums. Depending on the clarity and dramatic nature of the doubling, such coins can sell for $50 to several $100s. Another collectible variety involves cameo contrast. Not all proofs display strong cameo frosting. Coins with deep, thick frost on Lincoln's portrait and bold mirror fields are far more desirable. Coins lacking cameo contrast are less valuable, even if technically high grade. Occasionally, collectors search for transitional errors. Although the composition remained copper in 1973, error hunters have long speculated about off-metal strikes. If a 1973 S proof cent were ever discovered struck on an incorrect planchet, such as a dime or foreign blank, its value would likely reach into the thousands. While no major confirmed transitional composition error is widely recognized for this date, the possibility fuels ongoing interest. Another factor that drives collector demand is the broader historical setting of 1973. America was facing inflation, the oil crisis was looming, and economic pressures were mounting. Copper prices were rising, setting the stage for the metallic change in 1982. The Lincoln cent was increasingly expensive to produce relative to its face value. So in many ways, the 1973 S Lincoln cent belongs to the closing chapter of traditional bronze U.S. cents. Collectors of the Lincoln Memorial Series, which ran from 1959 to 2008, often pursue complete proof runs. The 1973 S is a necessary component of that set. While not the rarest date in the series, it occupies a critical position in early 1970s proof production. When evaluating a 1973 S Lincoln penny for potential value, collectors focus on several key factors. First, overall preservation. Are there hairlines in the mirrored fields? Any haze or spotting? Copper-proof coins are notorious for developing spots over time due to environmental exposure. Even sealed proof sets from the mint can develop toning or haze if stored improperly. Second, cameo contrast. Strong frost and clean mirrors significantly increase desirability. Third, certification. Coins graded by major services such as PCGS or NGC typically command higher prices due to market trust and authentication. Fourth, eye appeal. Even within the same numerical grade, one coin may be more visually stunning than another. Market trends also fluctuate. During periods of heightened interest in registry competition, top-grade proof coins can experience price spikes. Conversely, during slower markets, values may stabilize. In circulated form, it's important to clarify that regular 1973 cents without the S mint mark were struck in Philadelphia and Denver for circulation, with mintages exceeding hundreds of millions. Those coins generally carry minimal premium unless in exceptional uncirculated condition. But the 1973 S proof is distinct because it was never intended for circulation. Interestingly, some proof coins do enter circulation after being broken out of proof sets. These pieces often show wear and lose much of their value. A circulated 1973 S proof cent may only be worth a small premium over face value unless it retains strong detail. The copper content itself gives the coin intrinsic metal value slightly above 1 cent, depending on copper prices. However, it remains illegal to melt cents for their metal content under current U.S. regulations. Collector interest in the 1973 Lincoln cent remains steady rather than explosive. It is not a key date rarity like the 1909 SVDB or the 1914 D. Instead, its appeal lies in condition rarity, cameo quality, and the broader narrative of American minting history. For new collectors, it represents an accessible entry point into proof coin collecting. For advanced collectors, it offers the challenge of finding flawless, deep cameo specimens. One fascinating aspect is toning. While many collectors prefer brilliant red copper surfaces, others appreciate naturally toned proof cents that display hues of violet, blue, or gold. Attractive rainbow toning can add premium value if the toning is even and aesthetically pleasing. Storage is critical for preserving value. Copper reacts easily with moisture and contaminants. Proof coins should be kept in inert holders, away from humidity and temperature fluctuations. Auction records over the years show that while average examples remain affordable, elite-grade coins consistently outperform expectations. A top population PR70 Deep Cameo example can command hundreds of dollars due to scarcity at that perfection level. The 1973 Lincoln penny ultimately teaches an important lesson in numismatics. Value does not always come from age alone. It comes from rarity, condition, demand, and story. A coin struck just over 50 years ago can become highly valuable if preserved perfectly and sought after by collectors. So when examining a 1973 Lincoln cent, look beyond the 1 cent denomination. Study the mirrors. Inspect the frost. Check for doubling. Consider certification. Because within this small copper disc lies a snapshot of American economic history, minting technology, and collector passion. The 1973 Lincoln penny may not be the rarest cent ever produced, but in the highest grades, with strong cameo contrast and pristine preservation, it transforms from pocket change into a prized collectible, a reminder that even the smallest coins can hold extraordinary potential.